Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. So today we're going to continue on our journey through the niyamas with the last niyama, which is Ishvara Pranidhana. And that means different things to different people. So a common translation of that is surrender or surrender to God or surrender to a higher power. God means different things to different people. So for the purposes of what we're going to do today, I want you to think about surrendering to a higher power, something greater than yourself. Maybe that's God, maybe that's spirit, whatever you want to call it. Nature, what have you, whatever that means to you is fine. Okay, there's no wrong answer there. Okay, so that being said, we're going to get into dragons today to prepare for frog pose. So if you've got a block or two, I recommend that. If you need support of a bolster or some other things when we go into frog, if you can't completely come down to the ground, I likely will not be able to either. So I always have my bolster on standby. And remember, blankets can be great little knee cushions for you as well. So we'll get started. And let's actually start just a little bit different. So let's go ahead and just start in a child's pose. So just come to like a normal child's pose like you would if we were in a vinyasa style class. We're not going to be here for a long time. So arms can be long in front of you, or you can take them back by the ankles, whatever you feel like doing there. Good. And just breathe and zip up from the pubic bone behind the navel, expanding that rib cage. Good. Now, if it would feel good to you to just kind of take that head a little bit from side to side, just massaging that third eye. So as we'll see as you go through here, from a chakras perspective, the Ishvara Pranidhana is closely related to the higher chakras, the third and that's wrong. The sixth and the seventh chakra. Third eye chakra is what I was trying to think of. But it's also related to the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, quite a bit. And you'll kind of put that together once we get going. So from here, big inhale, exhale. Good. I'm just going to lift a little bit here. Let's walk the hands over to the right. I'm going to walk my left fingertips forward, lift the hips a little bit, press into the right hand, sink towards the left. Breathe and expand. And then coming up and moving back through center. Half or full child's pose here to reset. And then when you're ready, good. We'll lift a little bit. Walk the hands over to the left. Walk the right fingertips forward. Good. Press into the left hand, sink towards the right side. Breathe and expand. And then when you're ready, inhale, exhale, coming back to center. Half or full child's pose here. So something to kind of ponder here when we talk to surrender as we get ready to come into a crocodile pose. Surrender, the Ishvara Pranidhana, it asks us to be strong enough to engage each moment with integrity. So surrendering asks us to be strong enough to engage each moment with integrity. Good. So I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to make a little pillow with my hands. The legs are going to be about hip width apart or slightly wider, and just wiggle a little bit here. You can also be in stillness. Just kind of ponder that. Pondering what it means to surrender to something greater than you. So this is just our time to get into that mindset a little bit here. Good. And then when you're ready, good. Carefully take the hands up and press away. Good. We're going to come right into a different child's pose now. We're going to bring in our blocks here since we've got those today. And we're going to just kind of get a little bit of a flush in here. So if you don't have these, no worries. There is a version of this that you can do that's more on the elbows. You can kind of be right here. But I'm going to bring my blocks in. And then from here in the way that's best for you, you can take forearms down if you need to and kind of come this way. You can take the elbows up here. That's going to be a little bit more than having the elbows on the floor. And I'm just going to take that right here. Good. So a little bit of a child's pose here. You don't need to come back too deep, but just breathe and expand. We'll be here a couple minutes. Carefully start to come up out of there. Good. Use it more in your lower body to come out of there if you went onto the blocks and if you didn't. Good. Have your blocks handy. Good. And then from here, just get some little movements that would feel good to you coming out of there. Maybe some little spinal rolls, maybe some cat cows, maybe a more traditional child's pose. Just kind of move how your body needs you to move. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come into our first high dragon. Now the blocks are going to help you with balance for those of you that need it in high dragon. If you need a knee cushion, you can always bring that in here because we will have one knee down. Good. So kind of think about this almost if you were in a vinyasa class. Have a low lunge. Good. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to start by taking my left foot forward. So I'm going to take my left foot forward. Good. And let's just kind of move forward and back a little bit here. Let's just do a little bit of a dynamic movement. Good. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll just come in. Good. So come right before you come to your edge. Make sure your back knee is behind you. Zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel, rolling the shoulders back here. Good. I'm just using my blocks for stability. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Good. So again, thinking about that surrender. What does that mean? Surrendering to a higher power. I'm a little bit off kilter here. Good. Zip up through the front body. Maybe closing your eyes and imagining what that would feel like to surrender to your higher purpose. Letting go of the ego and surrendering to your higher purpose. Good, and carefully come out of there. Good, and I'm just gonna come back here and just find that little half split pose. Just kind of counter that. Releasing the right hip flexor. And then from here, when you're ready, we're gonna take this into a pigeon pose. So I'm just gonna put my blocks to the side. Take off this watch here. Good. So from here, I'm gonna take my hands down. I'm gonna heel toe that left foot over. Good. So remember, you want a little bit of a diagonal here in this left shin. This heel is going to come closer to the hip flexor. It does not have to touch it. And then fill in any space under that left side if you need to. Now I'm going to pull this out. Had my knee blanket under there. And I'm a little tight today on this side, so I am going to put a blanket under here for support. Good. And then you can be up. You can come down. Good. Breathe into it. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. Ishvara, Pranidhana. Ishvara, meaning God or higher power. Pranidhana, meaning the surrender. So remember, as we're here, no pain, numbness, tingling, burning. If you feel any of those sensations, you want to back off until you don't. Even if it means coming out completely. And then from here, when you're ready, carefully come out of there. Good. As you gently come out of there, come to just kind of stretch that left leg back and just find a little stretchy here. Now, if it would feel better to you to come into a downward facing dog real quick, then feel free to take that. All right. Now we'll take that into the other side. So I'm going to get my knee cushion back out here for my left knee. Good. Bringing in blocks here as needed for stability. This time we're going to take the right foot forward for this high dragon. So I'm going to take that right foot forward, and just like the other side, come into a little bit of dynamic movement. Come in and touch it, and then come back out. And then come back in and touch it, and then come back out. And one more time, we'll come back in. Remember, stop right before your edge. Make sure the back knee is a little bit behind the hip. Good. We'll be here for a couple minutes. And breathing. Good. So another thing to think about maybe with surrender is thinking about surrender as a state or a stance of devotion that takes place in the heart and permeates all of our attitudes, our actions, where we're going. So just like with pigeon, if you need to come out of something, come out of something before you need to. Almost there. Good. And you're ready, carefully. Ooh, come back there, find a little half split pose. And when you're ready, we're going to take this into pigeon on this side. So I'm just going to move my blocks out of the way here. Good. I'm going to heel toe this right foot over to the left. So remember, you want that angle in the shin. Good. I don't know if I'll need this on this side today. I'll just have it over here just in case. Good. And then you're kind of coming down here. So good. If you need any cushion under the right side, take it. Otherwise, we'll be here for 3 juicy minutes. So again, Ishvara Pranidhana. What does that mean? To surrender to something greater than you. Don't forget to reconnect with the breath as you ponder. One more minute. Release to the face. And carefully, we'll come up from there. Good. Come out of there the way your body needs you to come out of there. Again, if a down dog would feel good to you right now, take it. Or you can follow me, just take that right leg back for it. Good. All right. From here, we are actually going to come into a real short dangle. So we will come into a down dog. So I'm just going to lift up here. Good. I'm just going to walk my hands back towards my feet. Keep a bend in the knees, and I'm just going to hold here. We'll be here for about a minute. And when you're ready, carefully come out of there. We'll come back down to the mat. Okay. So now we're going to take this into the low dragon. So these should feel a little bit better after doing pigeon and high dragon first. You can bring your blocks back in here as well. You can have that blanket for a knee cushion if you need that. And I'm going to do that here. Just turn around for the other direction here for a moment. Good. All right. So going back the same way we started, we're going to start with the left leg forward. Good. So once you take that forward, good. Find that lunge. Good. Bring blocks in here if you need to. Now remember, if the low lunge today is not for you, you can stay right here. You can take both blocks, both hands on the inside of that foot. You can take your leg out wider. You can go into an external rotation, Be where you need to be there. And you can stay up, or maybe forearms can come to a block or two, or even the floor. Oh, and get my timer. Good. So be where you need to be here. And we're going to be here for a couple minutes. We've already done the high lunge for 2 minutes, so there's not a reason to be here for a super long time. Good. So 2 minutes. Good. Maybe pondering that if you surrender the ego and open the heart and accept our higher purpose, maybe even turn the hands upward for that opening and receiving the higher purpose as we open the heart and release the ego. Now, those of you that want to, if you want to rock over onto the edge of that foot, you can. Just an option. Blocks are an option here as well. Not everybody will need those. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, if you went onto the edge of the foot, take that foot down. Good. Carefully come up. If you went down onto forearms, bring that leg back in. Good. Again, you want to take that little half split pose to kind of counter that. Go ahead and do so. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So now I'm going to take my right foot forward. Good. I'm going to find my lunge. Notice how my knee is behind. Good. Blocks or hands can come on the inside of this foot. You can keep your leg there. You can take it out wider. You can turn hip, knee, and toe out away from the body. Good. You can stay up. You can come onto forearms to the floor, to the ground. Be where you need to be here. We'll do this one for a couple minutes. And then if you want to roll onto the edge of the foot, we can do that halfway through. And then from here, if you want, you can roll onto the edge of that foot. If that's not good for you on this side, no worries. Open the heart, surrender the ego. And when you're ready, take that foot down if you went onto the edge. Good, we'll come up if you went down onto the forearms. Good, bring that foot back in line with the hips. And then one more time, take that half split pose coming out of there. Whew. And when you're ready, we are all set to come into frog. So from here, I'm just going to set myself up so my knees are happy. So I'm going to undo these blankets here so my knees have cushion. And I am pretty sure I'm not going to go all the way down to the ground today. So I'm going to bring my bolster in here. Good. All right. So from here, remember, you're going to start at all fours. Good. You can go ahead and turn out the toes. Good. Hips, knees are going to go straight out to the side. Yeah, so you're just going to kind of slide that open. Good. Go to where you feel like your limit right before the oh my gosh sensation. Bring in your support there. Good. And then take this down. Now, again, be mindful. You want the hip and knee to be in alignment. A lot of people tend to have the hips a little bit forward, but you want that alignment, and then hip and ankle are in alignment as well. Good. So from here, we're going to spend a full 3 minutes in frog. So you can have your arms out, head in one direction, and then we'll change it halfway through. Another thing to think about surrender, it doesn't mean to give up or give in, but being willing to be nudged in a direction of greater good to our higher selves. So a lot of times we tend to get stuck because being stuck can be comfortable, but then it can also be like at times too. So can you surrender in order to move forward into your higher self? Now from here, good. You had your head in one direction. We'll turn the head in the other direction. Also, as a reminder as well, you might be like me up on a bolster or prop. As you become more open over time, maybe you don't need to be as reliant on those props and you can slowly whittle them away. So always know that that's an option as well. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Carefully take one leg at a time, long behind you. So you never want to just jerk out of frog. Good. And then you can take the other leg long behind you. Good. And as you feel comfortable, if you're on a bolster or something like that, carefully take that off into the side. Find a nice crocodile pose here to recover. Maybe a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah. And then when you're ready, good. Hands are going to come under the shoulders. Good. Take that back, little child's pose. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. Now I'm going to take one of these blankets up here and refold it, because for Shavasana, I know that I'm going to want it. So I'm just going to take that down here. Good. So from here, since that's already in place, I'll just take my head back down this way. Okay. So as you come onto your back in the way that's best for you to get there, good. Just take the knees into the chest and just rock side to side for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can come into happy baby or happy adult. I should have kept this blanket on this end, but that's okay. So remember, happy baby, you can grab the feet inside or outside or yogi toe. You're kind of taking everything back out into that external rotation. Feet are flat, like you're standing on the ceiling. And then you're just giving a gentle downward tug. You're also finding length from crown to tail. If that's too much, come to happy adult. Just let the knees bend, holding on to the shins or the ankles and being here. Again, finding length from crown to tail. And we'll be here. Let's be here for 3 minutes. I'm using my watch. I forgot my timer on the table where I have my computer recording this class. No, that's okay. So that's a perfect example of surrendering the ego into the highest self. And from here, when you're ready, carefully release out of there. One leg at a time, take it long, just kind of let it stretch. The other leg. Good. We're going to end with a nice supine twist. So from here, good, let's take our knees into tabletop position. Good. Just the basic twist. And we're going to take the knees to the right, and then maybe looking to the left. So maybe something here to ponder again. When we release our rigidity and the need to control, when we joyfully engage life as it comes to us, and just kind of take things as they are, that's when we come to Ishvara. Because the ego gets brought back into balance. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, carefully take the head back to center, one leg at a time, coming back to center. Now wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here if you need to. Good. We'll reset ourselves. We'll take that twist in the other direction now. So now the knees are going to come to the left. Maybe look to the right. Breathe and expand. And carefully take the head back to center. One leg at a time, coming back to center. A final little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to come into our Shavasana from here. So I'm going to reach for my bolster. So be where you can get comfortable. Good. I'm just going to kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle down in here. Good. And think about maybe this final thought. When you believe in something greater than you are, and let your actions, mind, and heart line up with that greatness. So when you believe in something greater than you, then your actions, mind, heart line up with that greatness. So I'll leave you here for that last Ishvara Pranidhana pondering for a few moments. Taking some deeper breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or Taking knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body lowered or maybe lifted into a full body hug. And choosing stillness or moving any props out of the way that you may have used during your Shavasana time. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, edge of the toes. Point and flex through the feet. Bend and stretch through the hands, twirling ankles and wrists in one direction and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over onto your right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment. Taking all the time that you need here to pause and reflect. And when you're ready, we'll press ourselves up to a comfortable seat where we started our practice. Good. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. Palms up. Inhale, reach and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands and heart center. Reconnecting with that Ishvara, Pranidhana. One more time. And we'll take our thumbs to our forehead for good and true thoughts, to our lips for good and kind words, and to our hearts for open and loving hearts, knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you learn to surrender to a power that's higher than you for your higher self. Namaste.